Breaking: Mueller busted with Muslim radicals in White House could be removed from investigating Trump. Under Obama, Muslims in America had an absolute heyday as their leader Barack Hussein Obama tirelessly furthered their cause to spread radical Islam across our country. Obama worked with Muslims to successfully purge any mention of Islam from the FBI and Homeland Security training manuals, making it extremely difficult for those who guard our country's safety to adequately protect us from terrorism. While we would all expect this type of behavior from our country's enemies, we're learning about the absolutely outrageous and alarming thing that Robert Mueller, while working as Obama's FBI chief, that's borderline treason. You'd think that our elected officials would have the best interests of the American people in mind as they're given the responsibility of safeguarding our lives, but sadly that's not the case. We're all aware of how Obama infiltrated our government with radical Muslims from the terror-linked CARE organization, not to mention that his very own senior advisor, Valerie Jarrett, was a Muslim Brotherhood operative who hated our country and worked directly with Obama to take us out. Now we're learning in a brand new scandal that while Mueller worked as Obama's FBI chief, that he was the one who specifically oversaw the purge of all anti-terrorism training materials deemed, quote, offensive to Muslims, and worked directly with Muslim terrorists to stab America in the back with this unprecedented move to censor and whitewash any mention of Islam and Muslims from our officials' training. Keep in mind the textbook definition of treason is aiding and abetting the enemies of the United States, and that's exactly what Mueller did after removing any mention of Islam or Muslims from our FBI and Homeland Security training manuals, providing that it's jihadists at the highest levels of our government who called the shots in our country for the past 8 years. Leading Islam scholar and political pundit Pamela Geller recently uncovered this startling information where she reported Obama's pro Jihad policies in action. Is it any wonder we are behind the 8 ball? The jihadis are running the show. 2 of the most notorious Muslim Brotherhood terror-tied groups in America purged all anti-terrorism training materials deemed offensive to Muslims at the behest of FBI Chief Mueller. The FBI should have been prosecuting CARE and ISNA for not partnering with them. The FBI was sitting on a mountain of evidence against these groups as a result of the largest terrorist funding trail in our nation's history. People ask me, how did the Hamas groups accomplish so much? Well, now you see. Is it any wonder that the FBI did nothing in Garland, Texas, or that 10 months ago, after the Pulse nightclub jihad attack, the FBI said it still did not know its motive, even though he had pledged his allegiance to ISIS? Obama's DOJ holder refused to answer congressional inquiry about evidence in scuttled prosecutions of jihadist groups, CARE, ISNA, ICNA, I have no idea what that was, in America's largest terrorism financial trial, high treason. Obama and Holder drop indictments against Muslim Brotherhood-tied group, CARE, etc., all at DOJ or whatever. This is an older article, I guess, but it still is relevant in what's going on today. In light of this treasonous bombshell against Mueller, how can this traitor possibly be trusted to handle this Russia probe against President Trump? He's obviously a very corrupt man who has had his integrity completely compromised and is working directly with Muslim terrorists to bring this country down. Liberals would love for everyone to believe that CARE is a civil rights organization, but nothing could be farther from the truth. CARE has time and time again been linked to radical Muslim terrorists, including Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Muslim Brotherhood. Pamela Geller pointed out how CARE displays a consistent pattern of encouraging Muslims not to cooperate with law enforcement as they seek to infiltrate every facet of our society and government with their radical Islamic agenda. And where is it that they're voting for the mayor, the Muslim guy that's running for mayor, I think in Michigan or something? Michigan's already a hellhole. Put a Muslim mayor in there too. And again, they portray him as like all around American, so to speak, because he's a little bit polished, just like Obama was, in order to close the people's eyes. Well, Judicial Watch, November 5th, 2017. Now that Robert Mueller has been appointed special counsel to investigate if Russia influenced the 2016 presidential election, it's worth reiterating his misguided handiwork and collaboration with radical Islamist organizations as FBI director. Judicial Watch exclusively obtained droves of records back in 2013 documenting how Mueller's leadership, the FBI purged all anti-terrorism training manuals deemed, quote, offensive to Muslims after secret meetings between Islamic organizations and the FBI chief. As FBI director, Mueller bent over backwards to please radical Islamist groups and caved into their demands. I'm sure he was well paid. The agency eliminated the valuable anti-terrorism training material and curricula after Mueller met with various Islamist organizations, including those with documented ties to terrorism. Among them were two organizations, Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, and Council on American Islamic Relations, CARE, named by the U.S. government as unindicted to co-conspirators in the 2007 Holy Land Foundation terrorist financing case. CARE is a terrorist front group with extensive links to foreign and domestic Islamists. It was founded in 1994 by three Middle Eastern extremists, Omar Ahmad and Nihad Awad and Rafiq Jabber, who ran the American propaganda wing of Hamas, known then as the Islamic Association for Palestine. President Trump needs to drain the swamp, and he needs to do it now. Far too long the fox has been guarding the henhouse, and it's time to purge these corrupt officials from our government who outlandishly continue to work with America's enemies to bring our country down. And that is precisely what's taking place. Now, not only does Mueller need to be immediately removed from the Russia-Trump investigation, but an investigation into his treason against our country needs to be started, and he needs to be held responsible for working with Muslim terrorists in their goal of bringing our country down. Be sure to share this story and help expose what Robert Mueller has done. This is borderline treason. I would say it's out and outright treason. And what stuns me is when everybody calls Mueller, his impeccable credentials and honest, and we have faith in Mueller. But you don't see anybody in government really coming right out and stating that Mueller is compromised and he sold out America just like Hillary Clinton and the rest of the people did. And I'd like to add the Bushes to that list, because the Bushes started this whole thing. Don't look, they're very slick, because we're saying Clinton Clinton and Obama could have never gotten away with what they did unless the Bushes were involved. The Bushes have big money, and all the crap that's been taking, and the older Bush, he was a globalist, but at that time when he used to speak, nobody really understood what he meant, because we weren't hip to the fact that what globalism was or meant. But he was out and outright telling us at the time. But again, he figures the people are too stupid to understand, which of course nobody would actually ever think that somebody was going to sell out the country for any amount of money. I mean, it's just impossible to even fathom. But again, here you go. Here you go. The criminals that started this whole thing. And it stems back to the Bushes now, I'm coming to realize. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.